Hey, I wanted to jump on and talk about emotional recovery. Emotional recovery. Recovering emotionally after trauma, after setback, after disappointments. You know, it takes the initiative of you to recover. You are the one that's going to have to put forth the initiative. You are the one who's going to have to research. You're going to have to find out correct information. You're going to have to take the time to reflect on yourself, go inward, and see where you need recovery. Because everybody needs recovery. Don't be ashamed because you need to recover from something. I mean, you're recovering all the time. You recover from going to work all day long. You recover by resting. Or not necessarily work, but just exerting a lot of energy. You recover by resting. Whenever you're hungry, you recover by getting something to eat. You know, whenever you're bored, you recover by taking part of some activity that's going to relieve you of the boredom. And the list can go on and on and on. So that's just to say, I use those illustrations just to say that you are always recovering. But the kind of recovery that I am speaking of in this commentary is the recovery that's going to alleviate those frozen emotions by healing the thought process that allows those frozen emotions to stay frozen. So whenever you are being healed or recovering emotionally, you're going to have to allow those frozen feelings that are those triggers. You're going to have to allow those to unthaw and get to room temperature so you can deal with it, so you can deal with them. Because in our life, especially if we've gotten age on us, then 9 times out of 10, we have many areas that are frozen. You know, many things that we had to take part in, or many things that we endured that we didn't want to deal with or didn't know how to deal with. Guess what happened? They were pressed down and basically frozen in a compartment. They were frozen. And a lot of times we even forget. A lot of times we forget about those wounds. However, any trigger, any person, place, or thing that somehow penetrates that room or penetrates that wound, then you react according to the pressure and according to the sensitivity of that wound. And you might be like, where did that come from? It's coming from that frozen wound. And even whenever it's unthawed and, from a trigger, and if it's not dealt with, then guess what it do? It refreezes and just waits for the next time, because there will be another time. So yeah, we have to understand that we need to recover. We need to recover from those emotional bruises. We have to recover. Now, I'm going to give you a step, probably step 1 and step 2 and perhaps step 3. Step 1 to recovery is getting to yourself, praying to Jehovah Elohim, the Lord our God, God of the universe, the creator of heaven and earth, and asking him, where Or what areas of your life do you need to become aware of where there is healing that needs to take place? And let him know that, Father God, I give you these areas. I give you these areas. Search my heart, Father God. And if there's anything that shouldn't be there, Father God, take it out. Heal me. For he is healer. He is healer. You know, so he wants to heal you. He wants to heal your wounds. He want to do that for you. But you, on the other hand, you as well as myself have to give it over to him and allow him to begin the healing process. So that number one thing is you have to say, Father, help me. Basically, that's what you're saying. Father, I don't even know where these things are in me. I don't even know. But you know all things. You created me. You know me from head to toe. You know me from the beginning to the end. So, Father God, just show me. And he will begin to show you. He will begin to prompt you. He may even allow a trigger, some person, place, or thing to press on that so that it'll manifest. And then that might be whenever he says, that spot right there. And whenever these things begin to be revealed to you, step 2 is that you have to be first of all, you have to have that knowing that the Lord is on your side and he's going to help you to conquer. He's going to help you to conquer these strongholds. He's going to help you. So the number 2 thing is you're going to have to take what is revealed to you and you're going to have to say, okay, Lord, how do I fix it? How do I remedy this? How do I recover from this? Because everybody's recovery is not going to be the same. It's not all a cookie cutter. It's not all one cookie cutter. Because somebody's recovery, somebody may have been bullied, all their life, even as children bullied, but then and whenever they got into adulthood, they were still bullied, because they just didn't stand up for themselves. So those wounds are there, but what it might take for this lady to be healed, it may not take that for you. It's probably just a whole nother set of instructions and directives. So that's why you have to ask the Lord, how do I remedy this? Because he's the one that's going to prompt you. His still small voice is going to be the one that say, this is the way, walk in it. Or there's going to be directions. Now, know that if he gives you the first instruction and you don't do the first instruction, and then you're saying, Lord, what's the next instruction? What's next? Why? 9 times out of 10, you're not going any further until you do that first part, because the first part is going to be crucial to get you to the second part. And then that second part is going to be crucial in order for you to move on to the third part. And then again, it might just be one thing you need to do and that's it. So the directives and the instructives are just conducive to each individual. So it's not a cookie cutter. And a lot of times whenever we're giving testimony or we're giving a how to do something according to how it happened for us, for many people, it can happen that way. It still can happen that way. But like I said, it's not a cookie cutter. So you have to go to the Lord, before the Lord yourself, and find out what needs to be done. And you're going to have to follow the instructions and directives, and you're going to have to obey, because his directives and his instructions is wisdom. That's wisdom. That's the wisdom that you need. For that aha moment, oh my goodness, yes, this is it, So step 2 is that you're going to have to be obedient and follow instructions. You're going to have to follow directions. And that may sound easy enough, but many people can't follow instructions. They don't follow directions. I mean, you could be done sat down and laid everything out on the table. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. You know, this is how long we're going to do it. You know, and you done went back and forth. And that's the plan whenever you get up and walk away. But whenever you find out later, some people just take the initiative to do something totally different. Totally different. And if they want to do that, if a person want to do that on their own time and on their own dime, then by all means. But whenever you have other players on the court, you can't do your own thing. If that coach says run play Z, and you done practice this play and you know how you're supposed to throw this ball or kick this ball to such and such, and you know, blah blah, you already know the play. Do something different. Do something different and see what happened to you. If you can't follow instructions, if you can't follow the playbook and the directives, then you know you're no good for the team for real, because you're rebellious, number one, and you're a liability. You're a liability because even if the team does recover from your own arrogance and you want to do what you want to do and change the whole play, if the team does recover the ball or whatever, you're still going to be marked as a person who's just rebellious, and you're not a team player. So guess what? People don't want you on their team. People don't really want you on your team. And like I say, if it's something that you just like free flowing on, and it's on your time and on your dime, and it's not affecting the team, it's not affecting, you know, and a team can be two people. Serena and Venus, doubles, you know, 2 people, that's a team. You know, so you know, some things are not teams. You can just be individual doing your thing. You know, so what? Change your mind, change the plan, your plan as many times as you want to. But whenever you get instructions and directives, you have to follow those directives, because the person who gave you those directives, those are their directives in order for you to make the dream work, in order for you to make it work. If I say, come to my house at 3 o'clock and we're going to have a meeting and this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and then if you decide to come at 4 o'clock because you just wanted to go by TJ Maxx or whatever, and you just like not respecting time or not respecting the plan, then guess what? At 4 o'clock, it's too late. It's too late. If this was the agenda, then at 4 o'clock it's too late. However, if there was no plans, and if I just said, well, yeah, just come by when you can, or just come by, give or take, sometimes stuff happens where you're delayed, and you know, provision can be made for that too. But don't just arrogantly disrespect what a person says or the team's playbook. Don't just blatantly disrespect that, because it don't look good. It's not a good look. So number 2, follow directions, follow directives, so that you can really reap the successful results that you're looking for. You will hit your objective because you followed the directions. And then number 3 is emotionally you have to like feel those feelings, and then the lie that comes with those feelings, like say like if you have a frozen feeling of saying, I can't do nothing right, I can't do nothing right, and that's what you've been told when you was a kid, and it like solidified in your mind. So you know your whole undertone is you can't do anything right. That's a lie. That's a lie. you're doing something right. You're doing a lot of things right. You may do things wrong, but everybody does stuff wrong sometimes. So you have to like take that sentence, I can't do nothing right, and whenever that thought tries to interject into your mindset, you have to say, I rebuke that. I rebuke that. You have to like begin to like challenge those toxic thoughts. You have to challenge those negative thoughts and undertones. You have to challenge it. You have to challenge it. If you don't challenge it, then guess what? It's going to run all over you. It's going to run all over you. So you're going to have to definitely challenge that thought or those thoughts. No matter what those thoughts may be, you have to challenge those thoughts and put the truth on those thoughts. You know, if you've suffered before with possibilities of things that made you sick, you know, because I remember like years ago when I was going through the emotional turmoil and the depressions and all of that, and I always felt like fear. I felt like fear. It was just like this generalized anxiety, you know, and it was just like everything was going to kill me in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It was just like doom and gloom kind of like thinking. And not every day now, not 24/7. You know, I wasn't sitting around up against the wall, you know, bubbling my lips or nothing. But it was just like, oh my gosh, you know, this, you know, if my heart started palpitation because of stress and anxiety, I didn't know all of this at this time, but my heart would kind of flutter and I'd be like, oh my God, am I having a heart attack? You know, it was just always like the worst case scenario. But the way I healed those emotions is that I listened to the Lord, because he told me, he said, what, pay attention to what you are thinking. Why are you thinking that? Why are you thinking that? That's not getting ready to happen. I mean, he had to take me all the way down to the like nitty gritty and bring me back up. If I was like feeling fearful, if I was driving and all tensed up, you know, my shoulders tensed, and he started like bringing it to my attention. He said, why are your shoulders tensed? And then I'd be like, I would like just search in my mind, search in my head for something that I may have been thinking at the time. And a lot of times it would be nothing that I could even put my finger on. So then I'd be like, there's no threat. There's no immediate threat going on. You know, why am I like tense? Why am I like doing this? But it was becoming a learned behavior, you know, that the enemy was just like taking that opportunity to just like, you know, just throw that stuff on me. But the Lord began to like say, pay attention to what you are thinking. Pay attention to what you are thinking. So when I would start getting anxious, I'd be like, okay, where's this thought coming from? And 9 times out of 10, it was a lie. You know, it was some kind of like erroneous thought that I had to like cast down and be like, I cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God. And I take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. You know, I you know, making a readiness to revenge disobedience once my obedience is fulfilled, you know, so I was able to like balance myself out because of the words that were coming out of my mouth and the way that I was beginning to take control of my thoughts. So yeah, you're going to have to like take those negative thoughts, no matter what those thoughts are. And not to say that sometimes, you know, you won't have a thought that is a real threat, you know, but even in that, you're going to have to like take the necessary precautions to get that threat off of you. You're going to have to take the necessary precautions, the necessary actions to get that threat off of you. So yeah, just think about what you are thinking. Think about what you are thinking. Even if it's a thought that's like throwing you off, I mean, it's just like ready to take you out. Lay down if you can. Lay down and think about that thought, but still battle with that thought. Whatever you have to do to battle with that thought, because if you don't, and when it go away on its own, it's going to come back again on its own. But if whenever those thoughts come at you, if you like challenge those thoughts and wrestle with those thoughts, because we're wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and the powers, the spiritual wickedness in high places. So we're battling against the spirit realm. So you're going to have to battle spiritually, and you're going to have to wrestle with these things. You're going to have to wrestle. Yeah, so just, like get your thoughts in your control. You can't control the thought actually coming through your head, but you can control whether it lands or whether it just keep flying through. Okay, so sometimes you do get thoughts interjected. You can't control the thoughts that come in, but you can, like I said, control what that thought does. You can control it. It's like a river. It's like a river. The water is like flowing down the river. It might be tree stumps or boulders or whatever in the river, and those thoughts just like water just flowing around. And just say if your head, your brain is one of those boulders or whatever, the water is just like coming around, gushing up, coming around, gushing up. It's gonna come. But just don't let that thought land on your rock. Just don't let that thought land on your rock. Land in your head. Land in your thought processes. All right? Okay, so let's get our thoughts together. And be safe and have a great day. And shalom. Until we meet again.